Hey, guys, it's Drew, also known as Random Planet here. I am actually here to be able to talk about a couple of things, kind of how things have been going within my life with multiple sclerosis, some other things that have been going on as well. As of this recording, things have been going relatively decently. We've been doing a lot of physical therapy and massage therapy and stuff like that, so it's helping my legs slightly. Um, as well as the fact that there are some things that they're looking at working on with the medications and stuff like that in my life. Things have become a little bit difficult. I've had to walk with, as you guys saw in the last video, I have to walk with the forearm crutch now. Um, but one of the things that I wanted to get on here and talk about today is the fact that there's something incredibly scary upcoming, because for those of you that know, and for those of you that don't, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease, meaning that because my because my immune system determines that something is going on wrong with my nerves and they're attacking my nerves, that it leaves my immune system in a weakened state at all times. So I'm more likely to get sick and everything else. And now we have the news that has been cracking all over the place, whether it be on local news, whether it be on national news, whether it be from my actual provider, which is one of the largest hospitals in the world, in the Mayo Clinic. It's the coronavirus, and it's scary. It's really scary, and as I've told people, is the thing that's scary about it is like I'm gonna have to start wearing a mask wherever I go, and because I usually have anywhere up to like 3 or 4 appointments a week at the Mayo Clinic, I also have to. It's terrifying, because if the outbreak does reach you, which now the news outlets are saying, expect the outbreak to be able to populate the U.S. It's mighty terrifying, just plain because of the fact that how do you say this? Just because of the fact that when you're going into those hospitals and you're going into those different situations, you're around people who are sick, and if there's an outbreak of the coronavirus, that's where people are going to be at, the largest hospital in the area, coming in for treatments and everything else. And me even just going down for my appointments puts me in a high impact risk area. Um, Here's the thing: is from what I've read, there's only a 2.3% death rate. So I mean, it's not a huge one. It's larger than the flu. Don't get me wrong in that sense, but it's not as bad as like MERS or SARS or anything like that. Um, the problem with this being is it seems like it's targeting the youth, or the very young, the very old, or the immunocompromised. And it just means that myself and others like me have to be incredibly careful as to what's going on. So what I'm going to do today is I actually pulled up when I went to look for my appointments today to be able to set up rides for them and everything else. They had some information about the coronavirus on Mayo Clinic's website. We're going to go ahead and go over that, just to be able to get ourselves prepared and get myself prepared as well. And I'm going to do it with you guys, just in case other people are interested in what's going on, because you don't have to be immunocompromised to be worried about what is obviously going on in today's day and age. So we're going to go ahead and pop over here. So as you said, this is the actual Mayo Clinic website here. And patient care, health, and information for the coronavirus. So basically, this is going over an overview, saying the coronaviruses are a family of viruses that can cause illnesses such as the common cold, severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, which is MERS. SARS and MERS were two of the most deadly outbreaks of our generation. Once again, coronavirus does not have that death rate, but at the same time, it seems to be much more widespread. It just seems to be like it's definitely hitting a lot harder. In 2019, a new virus called the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2 SARS-CoV-2 caused a disease outbreak in China. The disease is called coronavirus disease 2019. While there isn't much known about this new virus yet, public health groups such as the World Health Organization and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, are monitoring the situation and posting updates on their websites. These groups have also issued recommendations preventing and treating the illness. Alright, so here's the symptoms here. Signs and symptoms of infection with the new coronavirus may appear 2 to 14 days after exposure and can include fever, cough, and shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. Alright. This one's a little bit on the difficult side because, honestly, these are the same symptoms as the common cold. The difference is it seems like the severity of the symptoms. And as people know, like myself and others with multiple sclerosis, we kind of overheat all the time. I can be in this room, and if the heater is going into the room, it causes things to be incredibly, incredibly warm for me. I cannot sleep comfortably every night because I overheat way too easily, and it causes me to wake up multiple times a night. Summer is going to be bad. It'll be my first true blue summer, especially since the last summer when I was diagnosed. It was a very mild summer in Minnesota, so I'm terrified to see how that's going to go. So you can see the fever, the cough, the shortness of breath, and difficulty breathing. The severity of the new coronavirus symptoms can range from very mild to severe, even death. Although understanding the disease continues to grow, most people with severe illness have been of older age or had significant existing medical conditions. This is the reason why I'm making this video. This is the reason why I'm putting this out there. People with severe medical conditions, people with autoimmune diseases, people with, like myself and others that we found in the community with multiple sclerosis, we are at risk if this does hit. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. This is similar to what is seen in people who have severe infections with other respiratory illnesses such as influenza. When to see a doctor. Contact your doctor right away if you have symptoms of infection with a new coronavirus and you've possibly been exposed to the virus. Tell your doctor if you've recently traveled internationally. Call your doctor ahead to tell him or her about your symptoms and recent travels, possible exposure before you go to your appointment. Now, here's the key to this is, if what's going on with the news ends up, hitting exactly the way that it has, or that it's starting to work its way here, and we do get the outbreak in the United States, I would say that the travel internationally doesn't matter, especially in a situation like myself. If I get these symptoms, I'm not playing it safe and going, all right, I have a cold, I'm just going to tough it out. I'm going to get into the doctor because this might be something more serious, and I've got a little girl, and to be able to be around for, especially now that I'm finally getting my head wrapped around my disease. The causes. It's unclear exactly how contagious the new coronavirus is or how it spreads. Well, it seems like it's incredibly contagious, and there have been reports out there saying that it spreads not only airborne, but also from surface contact. And that's the thing that's dangerous about this disease, is it can adhere to surfaces for multiple days. I've heard different news outlets report up to 12 days. Some have said 9, some have said 12 on different surfaces. So, if you're walking by and you touch a doorknob or a banister and someone else that has touched it that has been infected with this disease, it could potentially spread. That's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. It appears to be spreading from person to person among those in contact. It may also be spread by respiratory droplets released when someone with the virus coughs or sneezes. It's not enough if a person can catch the virus by touching a surface that an infected person has touched and then putting his hand to her mouth. Well, as I said, some news outlets, some other sources have said that is a possibility. So I would still put that in the be careful range. Like, obviously, don't get paranoid about things, but at the same time, This video is more about being careful because, obviously, in regular life, just with regular colds and flus, we have to be careful now. And this is much more so. Risk factors for infection with the new coronavirus appear to include recent travel from or residence in China, close contact with someone who has the new coronavirus, such as when a family member or a healthcare worker takes care of an infected person. People are older who have other existing medical conditions such as diabetes and heart disease may be at higher risk of becoming seriously ill with the new coronavirus. There's still much unknown about the virus, and the CDC and the World Health Organization continue to investigate. Next, we're going to get into prevention here. And as I said, this is something we're going to go over. I'm going to put it up in my Discord as well, just to be able to help people get ahead of it, so it's more along the lines of, hey, let's prevent this from happening before it actually does. Although there is no vaccine available to prevent infection from the new coronavirus, you can take steps to reduce your risk of infection. The World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control recommend the following standard precautions to avoid respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water. You should be doing this anyways when you are going to the restroom, when you have touched too many doorknobs, anything else. You should be doing this, multiple times a day as is. Unfortunately, a lot of the people in the world really do not. Hopefully that's something that gets taken care of, just plain because of the fact that the more people that don't wash their hands, the easier things like this that can spread. Cover your mouth and your nose with your elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Personally, I on my next appointment will be grabbing multiple masks from my provider, and I will be wearing those as I go around out in public, especially when I'm at the hospital or at the clinic. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth if your hands aren't clean. This is a rough one, because let's say you're out and about and you sneeze into your sleeve or something like that. There's no guarantee that those droplets have not hit your hand, and then if you're tired, the natural response is to be able to rub your eyes. Things like that do happen. I mean, it's just being more self-conscious about what you are doing underneath these situations. Avoid contact with anyone who is sick. Personally, I do that in the first place just because I can catch a sickness very easily in comparison. And I've learned very quickly that the common cold, the common flu, they last much, much, much longer than a regular cold or flu would have prior to my diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. Avoid sharing dishes, glasses, bedding, and other household items if you're sick. It means if you have the significant other, you're sick, separate it off for a period of time. Just to be able to make sure, I mean, this is about caring about your loved ones as well. Clean and disinfect surfaces you often touch. I have been wiping things down so often, it is ridiculous. Once again, with an autoimmune disease, you're a little bit more susceptible, but at the same time, this is something that everyone should be doing. Stay home from work, school, and public areas if you're sick. I know this is incredibly difficult to do. People need to make money in order to live. People need to keep their survival going by making the money that they need to be able to support their families and themselves. The problem is this is how outbreaks spread. Someone goes into work, let's say at my old work, Quick Trip. Someone goes into work at a convenience store, and they're handling money, and they're handling product, and they're in constant rotation with new people who might be sick themselves. That's how the spread occurs. If you are currently sick yourself, trying to be able to do that, and that's part of the reason with the United States, they really need to work on how they value sick time for employees. There's other countries that do it much better, and guess what? It helps keep issues like this from spreading. The World Health Organization also recommends that you contact your doctor if you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, and tell them about any recent travels. Avoid eating raw or undercooked meat or animal organs. Okay, so do they suspect that there might be a spread of the coronavirus from animals? Huh. That's the first one that I've heard there. Avoid contact with live animals and surfaces they may have touched if you're visiting live markets in areas that have recently had coronavirus cases, so it does seem like they are. If you guys have heard anything about that, make sure to drop it down in the comments. If you guys are hearing anything that might add to this information, that can be a little bit of an information base towards people looking for some information on what's going on here. Just go ahead and drop it in the comments, definitely. And travel. If you're planning on traveling internationally, first check travel advisories. You may also want to talk to your doctor if you have health conditions that make you more susceptible to respiratory infections and complications. Ding, ding, ding. Luckily, I'm not going to be traveling anywhere. I am basically boarded right here in Rochester, Minnesota, because I have constant appointments for my different ailments. So there's different information on here as well. I will go ahead and link this in the description as well, so you guys can take a look at it and you guys can look at different things there. There's also a push for diagnosis and treatment. You can request appointments if you're in this area, and then more information on novel coronavirus. I just kind of wanted to be able to put this out there, just to be able to give a little bit of a sounding board to people in the comments and stuff like that that can share, and just to be able to give a little bit of common information to people. And to be able to look at it myself, because when I see things like this coming to the United States and coming into different areas, when I have an autoimmune disease and I know there's other people that do as well, it's scary. It's scary. All right, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much, by the way, for all of your support that's been going on lately. I am going to go ahead and start trying to do a little bit more on the my life with MS front here pretty soon. Trying to release a little bit more of that. I thought about doing like a daily vlog thing. If anyone's interested in that, go ahead and let me know. I'm most likely not going to be doing it on a different channel. There's a reason they call me Random Planet. Like, I'm random. If my channel's a little bit random, guess what? It fits the mantra. So I guess that kind of works. But as always, guys, be careful. Be careful, and remember, if something feels wrong, make sure to be able to do something about it. The more that we do to be able to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe is always a good thing. All right, we will see you guys later, and I hope the best for you. And once again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything, comment section is down there. Talk amongst yourselves, let you guys know exactly, and I will respond to any comments that come through. If you guys do enjoy the content, make sure to be able to hit that sub button and ring that notification bell, and hit that like button, and I'll continue dropping content on my life with MS, and if there's any more news on what's going on with the coronavirus, I'll also do some videos on that. We will see you guys later, though. You guys have a fantastic one. Bye bye.